What's going on, guys? This is Chastity here, and today we have UCDL Week 3. Sorry, I'm just getting myself a little bit set up. We are playing against Amber. Really good friend, really great battler. We don't have a great track record against her in the past. Let's see what she decides to bring into us. Cool, so it's Hamu, Dragapult, Taunty. So no Heatran, which is kind of fine. Ursa and Glim. I don't know if this is a good plan or not, but I'm planning to just lead with my gouging. So quick summary of our team. It's pretty hyper offensive, as you can probably tell. We've got a booster attack gouging, just DD 3 attacks. A Boots, Terapagos, Rapid Spin, 3 attacks, and then Sandrush, Excadrill with Sandstorm, an AV Basculegion to kind of maybe take a hit from Dragapult and more so from like Glamora, a Contrary Enamorus that can kind of sweep if we get things a little bit weakened, and then an Endure Salak Berry Zarude so we can endure and get rid of the first impression from ye old Slither. And yeah, so we're just going to lead with our gouging. Hope they don't lead drag, basically. The idea is to try and lead gouging, put pressure on turn 1, get in the Ursa, and then just click Flare Blitz, do 80%, and then go into Enam and go from there. Good luck, have fun to Amber. To be honest, I don't think I've prepped the best for this week. It's going to be the Hammerot, somewhat expected. So we should outspeed this unless it's Scarfed. At +1 we won't kill, but it shouldn't be able to 2-shot us. So I am just going to Dragon Dance off rip. And see what she decides to do. So you don't kill at +1, but we do a fuck ton. And this shouldn't be able to kill us. And it won't outspeed unless it's Scarfed. And it definitely can't kill us, even if it's like banded. Yeah, she's just gonna switch. What do we see? That is going to be the Ursaluna. So this is so far going according to plan. However, the plan might not be good. If I'm being honest. We are going to DD up turn 1. It is a Flame Orb. That's to be expected. And I'm just going to click Blitz. Take my damage. It should do about 2/3. Yeah, that does about what we expected. Maybe even a little bit more. There's going to be the Headlong. KO's gouging. So we can't really tell anything about their investment from that. Other than they're probably not as defense invested as I thought. And they are in the red. Which means you either got a high roll or they're not as defense invested. I'm going to go Enam here. And just click the superpower. Right. Dies to Enamorus. This is really just... I knew gouging could trade not quite 1-for-1, and I wanted the Ursa gone, so that's pretty good. Because we don't have a switch into that thing. So now, we're at +1/+1 with Enamorus. Let's see what she decides to do. It probably has to be the Taunty. We do have a bit of a cheeky speed creep on this Enamorus, where we chuck some extra EVs into speed in case she's trying to creep my creep. We will die to like a Life Orb. It's going to be the Glamora. So you could be Sash. You will take a superpower, you will not take an Iron Head very well. And if it's Sash, it's Sash. We do die to Power Gem. Wow, that's just really bulky. Yeah. So if this is max special attack, we die. We do not die because it's not max special attack. Must have a lot of HP. But we're now pretty low. I have no reason not to click superpower again. They're gonna switch into Dragapult maybe? One hit wonder. It's gonna be the Torn. Okay. You see what kind of investment that is at +1. It's helmet. Okay. And T-spikes are up, which isn't ideal. +1 superpower, so that's looking like a pretty bulky Torn. Could go U, threaten the rapid spin. And probably just U-turn into the Dragapult though. Does Excadrill live a Heat Wave? If you're not Life Orb? We absolutely do. An Iron Head won't kill afterwards though, is the only problem. Even with a Sandstorm chip. And we don't have the Aerial Ace for the Slither. Could just go U. They've still got the hammer in the back. Damn, I kind of am a bit stuck here. Gonna go Excadrill. So that did 25%. So can we... And they didn't fall with my cheeky speed crit, which is annoying. Oh no, they were Rocky Helmet, so we don't actually know. +1 that did 25%. So you're like defense invested. Yeah, you must be pretty close to max defense. I'm gonna click Sandstorm here. There's the Heat Wave. No burn? Oh. Come on. Well, that's just annoying. That's really annoying. Now this thing is basically useless. I'm just gonna get my rocks up. That sucks. Iron Head would have done a lot. Even to max defense. Can I dodge a Heat Wave as payment? No. Cool. Well, fuck me, I guess. Like, Iron Head would have done half. And this thing would be pretty close to dead. I'm gonna go to my Basket Legion here. Need to get rid of the T-spikes at some point. I'm gonna go for Flip Turn. I think that's game, to be honest. I needed... Yeah, that's gonna be the Glamora. Dies rocks. So X-Gig gets 1. Now it's going to be the Dragapult, and I don't think we take one after everything. After the sand, after the poison. Or it's probably going to be the Hammer Up, right? Nope, there's going to be the Dragapult. We are very Spadef AV. Gonna click the Shadow Ball. See what happens. Gonna go for darts. That is so banded. Yeah, that's absolutely banded. So. We've lost. Absolutely. Zarude will take one, but will get poisoned. Yeah, this is GG. This is not even fucking a close game. This is what I hate about playing Amber. I just never seem to, like, get the momentum away from her. Whatever I bring, like, the bulky Glim, right? I was like, it doesn't need to be bulky. It doesn't really live hits. It probably needs speed investment, etc. It should have just died, and then I would have had my HP, etc. And then instead, it just runs bulk, and then it's game over. Or, like, a banded Dragapult, which I thought choice was a real big risk. I shouldn't have brought Sandstorm, honestly. The reason I didn't draft T-Tar is because it was bad into my own team. I'm going to go for Dragon Pulse. Doesn't even get the kill. And it's Curse Body. So, 270. Do we live the next one? Absolutely we do. So I click Earth Power. Now she can just go Torn. The fact that it's Rocky Helmet also just means my Zarude set's never gonna work. Okay. You might be Scarfed then. I'll go for the spin. Okay, there's a shred of a chance. Just gonna flip turn. Into Torn, right? Torn or Slither? Yeah, it's gonna be Slither Moonwingers. Are we running Power Whip Contact? Yeah. So we just lose to Taunty here. Because First Impression does a fuck ton. If I'd just been Protect over Endure. So, what's my play here? I mean, if they're Scarfed or if they have First Impression, I have to Endure. Or I just die. But then I'm just going to be at 1 HP, and then the Taunty is going to kill me. That burn did suck. Because Taunty would have been real low. But I also just didn't expect Rocky Helmet on it, to be honest. Yeah. Whatever. See, like, the Ironhead chip would have been enough to kill that. I guess we wouldn't have got Ironhead and Rocks. It's just annoying. Fucking Heatwave burn. Probably wasn't the best set I could have brought, to be honest. That threw me. And my game plan was to try and be hyper offensive. And I did get the momentum early, right? But that fucking... yeah. I probably misplayed that around that taunt as well. Probably should have just gone into the Baskia Legion and forced the issue there. It is what it is. GG's to Amber, check her out. No fault of her own that I got hacked. And it probably didn't matter as much as I'm making it out to matter. Because it was Helmet, we just lost anyway. That's just really annoying. Because if it had been any other item and we got the chip, then we might have got through. I think... whatever. I just wasn't locked in for this one. We take those losses. One day I will beat Amber. One day I'll actually prep a decent fucking team into her. But until then, you can see the team builder after this one. You can see the plan of what should have happened, which is kind of what happened, except so here we are with the team builder against Amber. So you can see the matchup there down below me. It's got some real spooky, scary threats. Very just like bulky offense, very Amber playstyle, to be honest. She has all of the hazard stacking with Glamora and Hisuian Samurott, meaning that she can get hazards up so easily as well, not to mention a couple of other stealth rockers like Heatran. And I think Pawnyard gets rocks, but, you know, it's a Pawnyard. I think the top 8 are all reasonable brings here. If Dragapult comes, it could well be Scarf to try and check the Gouging Fire, but if it is a choice item, then it runs the risk of being locked into a Ghost type move for Trapagos or a Dragon type move for Enamorus, so I'm not sure if it's going to love wanting to do that, but we'll see. Life Orb, Nasty Plot, Torn T also looks like a real threat into my team. And Ursaluna is a real problem. It's just so naturally tanky that a lot of my mons can't break through it easily. So we've gone for a very hyper-offensive team here, basically. We're going to just lead with this Gouging Fire set. Booster attack. Just going to DD turn 1, basically, if we see anything except the Ursaluna. We should live, I believe this is enough to live a Power Gem from a Timid Glamora, and we'll live anything else other than a hit from the Dragapult. So if we don't see the Dragapult or the Ursaluna, we should be able to live anything. We tank hits for days from the Heatran as well. And yeah, so that's going to be the Gouging Fire. We're going to lead with it. Click DD turn 1, try and take down something with us. Ideally, the Ursaluna would be taking like 80%. I think it's like a 68 to 80 something % roll. If she's running the kind of bulk I'm expecting her to be running on the Ursaluna, we'll die a Headlong Rush afterwards, but that then opens the way for one of our other sweepers we've got in the back. And if she doesn't bring the Ursaluna, and it's like Sugarberry Heatran or Glamora, even at +1, with booster energy, even with the Sugarberry, that Earthquake is doing a lot, so we could just run away with the game there with Gouging. I'm sure she'll have multiple checks to it though. And then we have Violet Chachki, the Enamorus. We're running the physical contrary Enamorus here. The idea is Ursaluna takes a big hit, then coming revenge with this, get the superpower off, then we're at +1/+1, and we're quite hard to revenge with something like the Dragapult. We have enough bulk to live a Sludge Bomb from Torn T, and if they go for Bleak Wind and give us the speed boost, then that could just be game. So we then have Play Rough hits the Dragapult really hard, and also the Slitherwing, which are able to take the superpowers relatively well, and then Ironhead catches the Glamora, so it should Oko Glamora if it's not running any bulk, and will also destroy a Gardevoir, which AV Gardevoir could be the answer to Enamorus. So yeah, we've also done something fun with the speed here. I say something fun. Basically, this is the amount of HP I needed to live that whatever it was, the Sludge Bomb from Torn T, then this attack guarantees the Oko with the Expert Belt on Glamora at +1, and I had 12 EVs left over after the speed creep to 299, which is what I'm generally hitting to outspeed Glamora, because like I said, I don't think Electabuzz and Leafeon are coming. However, Amber knows that. There is every chance in the world she runs down to 300 speed on both Dragapult and Torn T. If we catch that out and we're running 302 speed on Enamorus, there's a chance we straight up just win. So being a little bit cheeky, the EVs weren't going to help much anywhere else, so decided to just go, make a speed creep number that didn't make sense, see if I could catch her out. Then we have Terapagos. We have enough speed here to outspeed Dragapult at +1. I think that's if it's creeping like an Enamorus or something. And then it's enough special attack to do good damage to everything. I can't remember what 2 it KOs it guaranteed, but it was something. These 3 attacks are really good coverage into the team. Starstorm is obviously just powerful. We don't hit like an AV Slitherwing or AV Ursaluna super hard, but we chip them down. And then with Terra Shell, we're able to take a hit and chip them down further, etc. Where Boots Rapid Swings, like I said, she has all the hazards in the world, and being able to spin those away and preserve the Terra Shell is really nice. And we're running Dragon Pulse because Unstab Dragon coverage is just the best coverage in the world. I could be running Ice Beam. Ice Beam is objectively better, but it's less funny. So we're running Dragon Pulse because we're just going to try and BM Amber that way. This investment was to live something. It's to live 2 hits of something. I think it's like 2 hits. It's either 2 Secret Swords from the Sacred Swords from the Hisuian Samurott, or 2 CCs from the Slitherwing, I think. That doesn't, CC doesn't sound right. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was to live 2 of something. Potentially even like a Dragon Darts from Life Orb, Dragapult or something. But after 1 breaks the shell, we live the other one with a little bit of investment there, and then the special attack is just what's left over to try and hit things hard. Then we have Manual Sand Rush Excadrill. This should outspeed everything at the +2 speed. That's enough, I believe, for Scarf something at +2. I can't remember what. Maybe Scarf Hammurot or Scarf Glamora. This thing is a fairly free switch in on Glamora if they don't go for Earth Power, so that's nice. Then Life Orb EQ is doing a lot to a lot of things. We've gone for Iron Head rather than bothering the Rock Slide because it still has relatively similar damage to the Taunt-T, and it should still do like 80-ish% to the Slitherwing. Then we've just got Rocks because there wasn't really any point in running a different move, and this HP Spadef spread is our best chance of living. I think it's a Focus Blast from the Gardevoir, to be honest. It was something like that. I built this team a little while ago and then didn't look at it for a couple of days, and I probably should have, but here we are. Manual Sandstorm is kind of fun. It will chip things down a little bit. Sand isn't great for my team, to be honest. Why I didn't draft T-Tar, there's a bit of anti-synergy there with the Terapagos and the Gouging, but with Manual Sand, fairly short turns, should be able to get enough of a speed boost to then just outspeed everything and do lots and lots of damage. Then we have AV Basket Legion, with minus speed nature, so we're slower than the Heatran is the idea. So if we switch in on the Heatran, and they decide to stay in, then we can get the slow flip turn into something like the Excadrill. Then we've got enough Spadef and HP investment so that a Expert Belt Shadow Ball from Dragapult does less than half, and then our special attack investment means that the Shadow Ball in return should OHKO. And then we're basically just going to be flip turning out most of the time because there's a Hammurot there. But if Hammurot doesn't show, then Surf and Shadow Ball become exceptionally free. And we've got Endeavor to try and catch something like potentially the Slitherwing going for Wild Charge, bring this down really low. Then we can Endeavor it down, bring it down low as well. And then it's in range of everything else. Then we have the other Sasha Velour, which is my Endure Salic Berry Zarude, hitting that 299 speed again just to outspeed the Glamora. Because she has a Slitherwing, I have to worry about first impression, but I also have to worry about Scarf Slitherwing just clicking U-turn. This way, I don't care, basically. I don't have to click Protect and then they're just Scarfed and then I wasted a move slot on my Zarude for nothing. If they go for first impression, or if they go for U-turn, or even if they go for a prediction and click Flare Blitz or something, predicting my Excadrill to switch in, we should be able to get down to the Salic Berry range, and then we are at +1 speed, should outspeed everything, and then Acrobatics and Knockoff does a lot of damage to basically everything. We just need to get some chip down on stuff like the Taunt-T, but Knockoff annihilates the Dragapult, Power Whip destroys Hisuian Samurott, Power Whip does 80% to Ursaluna, Knockoff does a lot to Glamora, Acrobatics kills the Slitherwing, knockoff does over half to both Gardevoir and Heatran. So this is very much like an endgame cleaner kind of situation. Hopefully after like gouging Enamorus and maybe Excadrill punch some holes, I can pull this shenanigan off to try and sweep late game. And where's the root data, because that is what I was able to gen, because the genning bots for this thing in Enamorus are a pain in the ass, to be honest. So yeah, that's going to be the team. I am going to spoil the results in 3, 2, 1. So unfortunate to take a loss there from Amber. I think the game plan was solid initially, like the way those first few turns played out with the Enamorus into Ursaluna and everything was exactly how I planned, to be honest. That is exactly what I wanted the team to do. I just needed a little bit more damage into that Glimmora, and it's made me reflect on how I do my predicting calcs and then the EV optimization. Is I tend to try and guess what kind of spread they're going to be running, and the thing with Amber in particular is she runs a lot of bulk and really creeps out of her offensive spreads, kind of like I do. And so if I'm going to be calcing for those things in future, maybe I need to calc for the bulky version, and maybe I would have run like Life Orb Enamorus. I think +1 Life Orb still was only a roll to kill the Glimmora, but I could have looked into that and changed the game plan if it was a really bulky Glimmora or something like that. And potentially should have been less aggressive with the Enamorus early on. After I got Ursaluna Weekend, it was basically a Rager. It could have been revenged by anything, and I could have just gone into like Basculegion, clicked Flip Turn, got out into like Terapagos, right? Like I could have played that a little bit more slowly, and I probably should have. I didn't have a great way to break open the Tornadus either. I kind of expected it to be offensive, because offensive 3 attacks with Nasty Plot looks really, really good into my team. With just like Heat Wave and Bleak Wind basically is all it needs. So if I had been calculating against a bulkier one, I might have realized that a couple of my sweepers like the Excadrill and these Rude don't actually do enough damage to a really bulky defensive Taunty. And then obviously Helmet. Should have probably expected the helmet somewhere. So there's a few things for me to learn from and go on with the next battle. The Heatwave burn did suck, but I don't think it lost me the game. I think it just made it harder, if that makes sense. Like I think I was probably still behind at that point, but if I had got one flinch with an Iron Head, then I was back in the game, if that makes sense. So it put me in an unfortunate position, but getting burned meant I outright lost. And things like, it killed Glimmora, but Glimmora was at such low HP, it was revengeable by everything at that point, so it wasn't really doing anything. And I got good damage onto the Tornadus, but I would have got more damage with a Life Orb Iron Head. So it is what it is at the end of the day. It's the game we play. If she had missed that Heat Wave, we would have been in a great position. If we got a flinch with the Enamorus into the Glimmora, would have been in a great position. But ultimately, I think her team prep was better than mine. I don't think I necessarily misplayed anything. I stuck to my game plan, and I think it was a game plan that could have worked based on the calcs that I initially ran. But I had too much confidence in the spreads that she was going to be running, and was a bit blindsided by the bulk she ended up bringing. So good game to Amber. Make sure you go check out her side. She's doing almost daily uploads at the moment, so there's lots of really good draft content to go check out. And then this week we actually face her partner Ellie, so we're in a bit of a back-to-back in the same household, and that's going to be a really fun one. The matchup is not looking good, if I'm being honest. She's made some changes to her team, and it's made it really quite difficult for my team to match up into, so we're going to see what we can do, but you'll be seeing that next Saturday, and I'll see you guys then.